Welcome back to the Oceanic Open Ladder. My name is Jake Hysterics, Aussie Panko, and of course with me is Nathan Mendrix Mendez as always. And we've had a pretty exciting day so far, judging who's worthy to run to the final of the Oceanic Open Ladder series. So we've now moved to the final. We've got Krispy Kreme crew versus Invite to Fatal Dream, which I finally learned to master and finally learned to say. So it's good to be here, and now we're going to see who is the best of the best for this week, or this fortnight I should say, and who can manage to come out on top and get a bit of extra points for themselves.
Yeah, and with those points, that opens up the position for them to come out in the top 4, which opens it up for the qualifiers to get into the OSC.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, Oceania is it's a growing region, so players are emerging that we didn't know exist. Of course, last game we had Jordan and Prominence come up, who have been in the OCS previously, but unfortunately that they got knocked out. So we're going to move straight into the new teams getting in here. And Krispy Kreme crew, as I've said before, were in the OCS before, so they've got a lot of potential to bring themselves back up, get some more points, and get back into the OCS where possibly they belong, but, you know, we're just going to have to see and wait.
Yeah, definitely. Well, this is definitely one step to get them further into that bracket, and definitely once they get themselves the points that they need, well, sky's the limit.
Yeah, sky is the limit. And we've been seeing some huge characters come out at the moment. Champions especially, such as Vladimir. We saw a huge Kassadin coming through there. We also saw a bit of a Sivir jump through. And Sivir's always been a very relevant pick. But the one I like to look at is the Lucian, who just 1v3. That was pretty crazy. That was pretty much K-Spoil just going through the enemy ranks and just running straight. Sorry, not K-Spoil. Of course, perfect. Running straight through the enemy ranks and just the Ardent Blaze combined with a Piercing Light. Just so much good combination coming through.
Yeah, he's such a big tank buster at the moment, and even if there's no tanks, he's going to go through and deal a lot of damage, especially when he's fed, as is with every ADC out there at the moment.
And Lucian remaining so relevant as we do move into Champion Select now. And something I get very excited with Champion Select is the meta bans. Now, Needly, of course, still very strong, so getting banned by a Fatal Dream, but Krispy Kreme crew in relation to that, hopefully going to ban off someone like, we might see a Sejuani ban or perhaps even a Rek'Sai ban who's really strong with the Cinderhulk.
Yeah, definitely. You can even look for games like bans like Gragas, who's got such strong ganking potential on that level 1. If he comes through with a flash into that body slam, you're pretty much locked down for that time. And if you don't flash fast enough, he's going to kill you.
And Thresh getting banned there. They looked at Apple's last game and he did so well on the Thresh. The death sentences zoned out so well. So, sorry, not Apple, of course, was Nami. Close enough there, close enough. But Thresh is still a huge pick for a support. Rek'Sai, as I did expect, getting banned away from Bill or Phil. So we'll see how we go with the rest of the bans.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Rek'Sai is a solid ban. He has so much ganking potential. He can come from pretty much any direction he wants from the map, and that's why he's so deadly. You don't expect him to be there, and next thing you know, he is. With that burrow, he can come from such odd angles, from over such large distances from the wall. It's really hard to deal with him. And
I love the Fatal Dream banning the Kalista away from K-Spoil, who before he was just rending people left, right, and center. And of course, they respond with a LeBlanc ban, but we'll see what their final ban is. If it is a Lucian, no, it's not. In fact, they get rid of Orianna from Resonance. This is what happened the last time someone versed Fatal Dream. They wanted to get rid of that Orianna, so there must be a huge power play there coming through. First pick, of course, being the Gnar. The Mega Gnar last game, a massive force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, he definitely made a massive changes there when it came into the team fights when he came on through. He basically transformed, went on through, and destroyed. So what you're looking for here with the Gnar is this nice tanky split pushing, and he's really hard to deal with, especially with this tank meta where everyone's trying to pick up Cinderhulks and smites in the top lane, and next thing you know, oh wait, he has percentage damage on my HP.
So that takes away the Gnar from Jim Hamberdale, and I keep thinking his name is Justin Timberlake, but no, close enough there. Sivir looks to be the hover, but talking about Jim Hamberdale, last game, he played the Jackson in the top lane, something we don't expect. Something that's not really in the meta, but it is a surprise. So we see the Sivir getting locked in. Hopefully we might see a Jax again, but Bill does lock in the Janna for Blind Turkey. And we go back to to Fatal Dream, who have just locked in the Nunu and the Azir coming through.
Yeah, Azir's got a lot of zoning potential. He's got a bit of a weak early game, which is completely fine for Resonance. He's sort of like the bird version of Orianna. A lot of zone control, but definitely has a lot more options in terms of pushing power, because he's going to have those soldiers out, and especially his passive is always useful in pretty much any situation. Even if you're ahead, you can put your passive on the enemy turrets. If you're behind, well then obviously you're going to put it on your own, and that gives you more defensive time to really wrap up what you need before the teams go through to push. It really slows down a siege.
Yeah, and it looks like Gragas might be a potential pick coming through. For Bill, we haven't seen Bill on the Gragas just yet. So remember, he did play J4 in his game before, which was very aggressive. But they do the old switcheroo, and Psyker picks up the Gragas for Bill, most probably, unless you see a mid lane Gragas coming back in, or a mid lane Maokai. You know, you never know. It's never too late for Maokai to come into the mid lane. But top lane Maokai, Gragas in the jungle, and it looks like might be a strong ADC getting picked by Perfect.
Yeah, he looks like he's going through his Lucian. Why not? You know, if it's not broke, why fix it?
Oh, yeah.
He's going to stick to what he has. He does have a best of 3 now to work through. So even if he doesn't come on top of this lane, he does have another chance for the next game. So definitely staying comfortable. It's going to be, again, Nami and Lucian. So they're going to have the exact same lanes in the bottom. But this time around, they're up against Spoil and Blind Turkey on Janna. So looking through the teams, you actually have quite a heavy kite team available for Krispy Kreme. They have the Disengage from Janna. They have On the Hunt from Siva. They have kiting capabilities from Kassadin and from Gragas. The only person that doesn't have it really is the Maokai, but even then, he's got slows, he's got knockbacks, he's got everything he needs to actually get a fights as well.
And that's exactly right. I mean, you talk about Maokai's Twisted Advance, which is so much CC there. Gragas has his body slam to get in or out of a situation, as well as his explosive cask, which can zone off so many members of the enemy team. And the Rift Walk coming through from the Kassadin is absolutely such a game changer to kite around, to smash out some big things, and that's exactly what you want to do at this stage of the game. Lucian and Nami, once again, Apple and Perfect have gone for the comfort picks. They went so well last game. We saw so much playing around with that Lucian and the Nami. So once again, it's just going to be a heavy hitting bot lane.
Yeah, definitely. And what you probably look to see is Spoil is going to try and take a massive advantage early in the lane, try to bully out that Lucian, because when you have the shield along with a bully ADC that has a very good aggressiveness in the early game, they're going to definitely take an early CS lead, and then they're going to try and snowball that into the mid game.
Yeah, and snowballing into the mid game is really what Nunu's best at, isn't it? So
yeah, definitely.
Looking at that, is Absolute Zero last game used to full effect, do you think?
Not really. Again, on this side, it's going to be coming across more to the other side of their team now. I mean, you don't really have a chance to get in there and use it with so much kite happening. You start your Absolute Zero, Maokai's nearby, he's going to knock you up. You try to go in against the Janna, she's going to push you away. And then at the end of the day, on top of that, you've got champions that can just move in and out of fights as they please. So it'll be interesting to see if he's going to be able to get that through. But the real reason you pick Nunu is you want to have objective control. You're looking to make sure you've got control over the enemy's jungle, the dragons, and the barons. That's what you're looking for when it comes for those sort of team fights, and why you get the Nunu.
Double Smite. Double Smite is why we see the Nunu coming through. Of course, the Consume does so much damage, gives a bit of bonus throughout that jungle. Remember, percentage health damage, I think, adds to the health as well as a bit of extra mana. Or there's something in there for Nunu that makes it so complementary to go through the enemy's jungle, or go through your own and just consume everything in your path. Now, what we didn't see last game from Jordan as playing on Nunu, we didn't see the double smite. Actually, there was 3 smites in the team.
They would have been available at that point. They had the smite coming through from their top laner, and they also had the double smite for Nunu as well. But again, if you look across from the other team, Feast technically also counts as a smite available towards available to Fatal Dream at the time.
It does. It definitely
So they kind of had their own 2 smites as well. They just never had the control over the pits at the time. It was very well done by Fatal Dream to make sure they were in front the entire game, and Nunu was just never able to get there for the for those neutral creeps or the neutral objectives.
I think this time Fatal Dream has just gone, hey, you know what? You couldn't play Nunu last game, and not saying they couldn't play, but you didn't play him to his full effect last game. So we're going to trump you a bit and just show you how it's done. And Fatal Dream are proving themselves to be quite the worthy opponents for Krispy Kreme crew. Of course, the experience versus the skill. I think skill will always win in the end. So it's going to be a very intense best of 3. If Krispy Kreme crew can get ahead in that first game and show their dominance, I think they can take this out. But in retrospect, if Fatal Dream can actually prove how much of a force they are and show how strong Nunu is in the jungle at the moment, which is my personal opinion, of course, then they're going to take this game out just as easily.
Yeah, well, the main reason why you also get Nunu and he's become such a strong pick in the jungle is because, again, he's going to counter jungle the hell out of your other jungler. With the tank meta being what it is, these junglers have very slow clear times.
Yeah.
So it makes sense, while the junglers are slowing down their clear times, that means you can take more advantage of the fact that Nunu has a really quick one. He can get in and take your buffs, and then you're not going to have as much impact in the game as you would normally because you're up against someone who's just strangling you in terms of resources and gold resources.
Yeah, definitely. And something I'm looking forward to seeing in the jungle one day. Hopefully next game will be Xin Zhao coming back in because all you have to do is build a Trinity Force and it's just super OP. Couldn't you build a Trinity Force on the Nunu and just show how much of a wild card he could be?
I mean, anything's possible. You definitely can. If you really think your way through the strategies, you can definitely make a Triforce Nunu work.
You can get Malphite Trinity Force.
You can give Malphite Trinity Force.
You can.
I think Instalock made a video about that in regards. Actually, is that an AD tree?
Oh, well, we never know. It's coming through. Look, let's focus back on the points before I take us all the way off the rails. But Na and Nunu is synergizing as a team. Looks to be quite strong, but in retrospect, of course, we see Gragas and Maokai coming through. Maokai is so relevant throughout the whole game, as you said in our first game of today with Krispy Kreme crew. And you also said that Gragas is a really strong pick at the moment. All you have to do is build Cinder Hulk and tank with Gragas. You don't build AP on him anymore. He's absolutely massive.
Yeah, exactly. He becomes a force to be reckoned with. Such powerful front line on top of that. And the big thing that he has is the utility, the engage. He locks down players. The moment he gets one body slam off, he's going to keep you pretty much instantly slowed for the thing. That's why he's the drunken brawler.
Yeah, exactly right. And we move into the grand final for this weekend. Krispy Kreme crew versus It's the Fatal Dream. I hope that's right. That's not right, is it? No,
it's Invite to the Fatal Dream.
Invite to the Fatal Dream. There we go. It just makes it so much more hype. And Krispy Kreme crew and Fatal Dream looking so strong at the moment. We might see standard laning phase, although we see a bit of an invade potential coming through from Fatal Dream. From Krispy Kreme crew, they do spot it out with a nicely placed sapling. Apple needs to get some CC on this, but it just makes both teams back off for the time being.
Yeah, pretty much look to see if they can get it invade, and the pause comes on through.
Yeah, unfortunately, we got a bit of a pause coming through for the time being, but that's all right. We'll just walk you through it as we always do. Sivir and Lucian versing each other down in the bot lane. Sivir has some really good moments down there, and Lucian as well. But after Perfect's game as Lucian, you can't help but think that he's going to be a bit of a powerhouse once again.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely performed that. He's going to have the confidence coming through from there, so he's definitely going to have a morale advantage. It's going to be interesting to see because Spoiler is a really good Sivir. He's a really good ADC in general.
Oh, yeah. His Kalista last game, all I saw was just rend, attack, rend, attack, rend, attack. And that Bloodthirster first build was a bit situational, but it worked out for him in the end. So his ability to think on his feet might pull him through this. And if that's what it's going to take, then that's what it's going to take. As simple as that.
Exactly. As we get back into the game.
Yeah, we do move back into the game now, back onto the Summoner's Rift. Got 30 seconds until the minions spawn until we get back into our laning phase now. But both junglers, of course, go on pretty similar effects. Although it's ruined my thinking. I've once seen a Ruby Crystal picked up by a Nunu in the jungle, and it's just made no sense to me whatsoever. So better get high elo is what I'm saying. But both supports are picking up that build into the Frost Queen's claim, which is a really good item for AP supports. And normally you do see Janna picking up the Talisman of Ascension, or at least getting, the ancient coin to start off.
What these ranged sort of harass type supports like to do is actually start with the Spell Thieves and then change later into the Talisman. Because what that means is they're able to go through, collect extra gold while they're during the laning phase, and then later when they're not able to harass as much, because if they try, they're just going to get blown up, they swap it to the Talisman to give more utility for the rest of the team. So from there, it'd be interesting to see if they're going to keep on going through to go to that Frost Queen's Claim, or whether they're going to swap through to the Talisman as the game progresses.
And as the game progresses, Azir already showing his might on the Rift, as a lot of auto attack damage does come through from that Azir. You got to be careful not to overstep your bounds, otherwise you're going to just take a full brunt of trading.
Yeah, definitely. And in the mid lane, in the bottom lane, not too much is happening there. They're going to see if they can get through. The shields are coming through, the sustain from Nami. Not too much damage. Nice ebb and flow and Pierce and Light coming through. And Perfect's going to show his dominance again in the Lucian. That's what he's going to try and do.
And once again, we see Azir's damage coming through in the mid lane. The bot and the mid lane, once again, trading so heavily in this early game stage. The game has only just begun, yet we see a lot of damage going out towards K-Spoil. The Sivir, only level 1. Both sides down here are looking for their level 2, and it looks like Perfect has reached it. A bit of hype going towards there as Blind Turkey takes a lot of damage, forcing him out. And I love that level 2 down the bottom. There's just so much to it.
Yeah, definitely. It's all about positioning and getting on through. They found that he had to back off in that regard, and then from there, they were able to get a lot of damage onto Blind Turkey.
Apple is just healing and healing Perfect, and missing the bubble there, which is not too much cause for concern, as long as it zones out the bottom lane, takes away from the experience, takes away from the CS advantage that Perfect loves to create so much, and we've got an aggressive mid lane once again. Look at the Azir clone just glitch and glitch. Not even attacking a minion, but still pressuring.
He's just sitting there being a little bit menacing, but it's okay. He's still getting the hits onto Psyker, so it's all right. But it seems Psyker's coming out on top because he's managing to trade those damage while he has his shield up after using his Void Null Spear.
Remember, there's so much mana sustain coming through from Kassadin. As Azir, where his spells use so much mana. If you want to auto-attack, if you want to trade, you got to keep those Sand Soldiers up and running. Now, if you got to use about 40 to 50 mana, I believe it is, to keep those Sand Soldiers up and running every 10 seconds, you're going to run out of your mana bar in about a minute straight, which he already has. So he's had to go back now, lose a bit of CS, lose a bit of level advantage as well. But you know, the Kassadin has a lot of sustain, a lot of early trading ability as well.
Yeah, and he's doing a fantastic job as well. He's already 10 CS up, and it looks like he's going to see if he can actually get a roam off. Maybe he's going to put some wards down, I'm not too sure, but it would be in his best interest to sort of just back off, but he's just going to go straight back into the lane, see if he can fight him off with a level advantage.
Be Myself once again proving himself to be a very capable Gnar player. I didn't do that intentionally, but the need just came through. K-Spell taking a lot of damage, and trading continues throughout the lanes as Bill looks for an opportunity in the mid lane. He does actually get Resonance. How many turret shots does he want to take, though? As Bill takes 2 turret shots before he can get enough damage off on Resonance, and now looks like Resonance just took control of that lane purely because of Bill's mistake.
Yeah, and in the bottom lane, it seems to be a lot of issues happening through for Spoil. More damage coming through into Psyker.
Bill may have to regret that one, as he's just sent the mid lane into turmoil. Taking 2 turret shots there really ensured Resonance to just do so much damage. And here's Nunu, but he's flashed and he's going for the extra hit on red. First blood goes to Nunu, but the turret dive has ensured that Bill gets his kill in advance.
Yeah, and basically Nunu went a little bit too far there. You don't want to trade. He did manage to pick up the first blood, but in that situation there's an assist and a kill going through for Krispy Kreme. So, in that regard, there's actually 50 extra gold going towards their way.
Yeah, both junglers securing a kill there. So Nunu picking it up under the turret, having a death under his belt though, and Gragas picking up a kill, which he wanted before. So maybe it's worked out for him in the end, that extra big turret dive. And we actually might see Gragas scaling up quite nicely as he moves closer and closer towards his Cinderhawk.
Yeah, he's going to look around, having those extra items now and having that extra damage from that. He should be able to go through and make some stuff happen. He's got a lot more ganking potential than Nunu does. Nunu usually has to actually get in there and basically risk himself, whereas Gragas can just come through with a nice body slam and get what he needs going to. B and Myself is having some bit of trouble against this tree. Yeah,
he definitely is. A sapling going to do a lot of damage, which is going to force the Gnar to go back, losing another wave up there. Maokai showing he's quite the strong opponent as Bill comes into the bottom lane. Can a bubble be timed quite nicely here before the body slam? And we do see in the middle there a bit of action happening as well. Bill just didn't make it. He used his body slam on the minions because it was only Blind Turkey going after that one. Perhaps a bit of miscommunication as the Emperor's Divide comes out, zoning off the Kassadin. And it looks like the Nunu keeps on coming back in. Is it going to be a gank or just a trade? I don't know what's going on as Perfect nicely dodges Bill in the bottom lane. Why didn't they get out when they could? That is my question right there. Apple's taking the Ignite. Is it enough to kill him? Not just yet. So a lot of messy plays coming through, but a lot of damage coming through as well.
Yeah, and these teams are just slugging it out, trading summoners, trading everything they can. Is he going to be able to pick up that kill onto his Bill coming through afterwards? But he's dodging away. He's definitely playing well on Lucian this game as well.
Yeah, Bill is providing a lot of jungle pressure for the time being, but having said that, Nunu, for a Nunu, is doing quite a lot. So both junglers have merit for the time being. It's just going to be whoever can get the most successful ganks off in this early game stages. Nah forced the ult away from Jim Hamberdale, and Mr. Hamberdale, are you going to go back in or not? No, he's not. Not enough life still coming out of Be Myself, so he might want to be careful about this one. The Maokai treading around, but not too much going to happen. Just a small engage.
Yeah, and as both the junglers pick up their blues, in fact, that actually went to Azir, so there's actually going to be an early advantage for Azir now because he's going to have enough mana sustain to deal with Kassadin. Also in that regard, Kassadin has that roughly 8-point league, and there's a little bit of a skirmish going on between the supports.
Oh, supports. Both of them have the ability to do extra damage with, surprisingly, it's both their shield and the E of Nami, of course, which the name escapes me for the time being. But it's a bit of trembling going down in that bottom lane with the Janna doing more and more damage as time goes on. A lot of the Jannas these days, they do max their E to provide that extra damage to the shield instead of the Howling Gale. But the shield, of course, provides, I think, an extra 10 damage each level. Yeah,
it does. So it's actually very effective to throw it onto your ADC as they go into trade because they're actually going to do a lot more damage. And on top of that, they're not going to take any. On the Hunt has been popped.
Oh, Siva's going straight in an Apple. Can he escape this one as the barrel comes in? The body slam as well. The casket goes out, which just sends Lucian in the wrong direction, unfortunately. But there's still a kill going to Krispy Kreme crew.
Yeah, they knew that the flash from Nami was down. They said, okay, we've blown it once, let's go through and we'll get her this time. And they definitely had enough speed and enough CC to keep her locked down. It was just an easy kill going straight across the spoil, which is exactly what she needs.
And Siva catching up in farm after that one. It was a bit of an advantage going towards Lucian, of course. Perfect knew the risks taking a Lucian against Siva. Able to block that spell shield. Have to go against that huge wave clear. And now it looks like they're going to be doing Dragon with only the Sand Soldiers in there. Can he get in there? No, he can't, unfortunately. Nunu can't get that Dragon for the time being. And it's going to be the first Dragon going to the Krispy Kreme crew.
And it looks like for these teams that it's going to be the same case again where Nunu's not going to be able to do much, but Spoil seems to be no mana. He's caught out.
Oh, Spoil is taking a lot of damage, but likewise in the middle lane, Resonance and the Kassadin. Oh, the damage only just keeps Spoil alive. He was so close to getting popped there, but unfortunately, Lucian can't get a kill this time, and it looks like perfect. Oh, in the middle lane as well. As you see, Resonance pops the barrier on Psyker. The Absolute Zero comes in and juked by Psyker with a nice Rift Walk. It's not up in time to get him out, but that perfect positioning of the Rift Walk makes for an easy kill for Psyker.
That was amazing there. I was surprised how he was able to actually go through. He managed to juke the attack from the soldiers coming on through and then put himself in perfect position to deal more damage onto Resonance and take him out. Trading kills in that situation.
And once again, trading happening between Apple and Blind Turkey in the bottom lane. The Janna and the Nami just do not like each other that much. And Jim Hammerdale once again engaging on Be Myself. He's doing so much damage in this early stage. Zoning off with that sapling, but Nunu comes in at perfect timing. Here comes the flash from Nunu. The red buff is in there. And Be Myself picks up his first kill of the game, which he desperately needs. But down bottom, Perfect is taking a lot of damage. The bubble misses on K-Spoil. Apple, a lot of zoning there with the culling coming out. But it just looks like it's a trade. Nothing more.
Yeah, and still, even with all this attention happening in the bot lane, but Psycho's getting a bit of attack, or getting a bit antsy.
He definitely is, with the Rift Walk coming through. Can the Rift Walk go through the Emperor's Divide?
That is a great question. I believe it can, but he was actually stuck in between it. That's why he got pushed away.
Ah, okay. Well, look, I know the Ezreal's Arcane Shift can, so I very much assume that is the same case as Resistance, taking a lot of damage. Don't think he wants to engage this one for the time being. The Kassadin looking too strong, almost with his Rod of Ages. That's going to be a cause of concern for that Azir.
Definitely. And Lucian's doing a fantastic job trading against this Sivir. He seems to be down damage. He does have that movement speed advantage. That's probably what's giving him the edge he needs to actually get in there, pop some damage and get out before the ricochets and that boomerang blade hits him.
Yeah, and Sivir so close to getting that Infinity Edge, but it looks like Lucian has once again caught up on CS. We look at that, 98 to 86. I don't know how he does it, but he's farming exceptionally well. 12 minutes in, hitting that 100 CS mark quite an achievement as Maokai has on Krispy Kreme Crew. So Perfect definitely not out of it for the time being in the spot lane, with Squirrel taking a lot of damage from that one. Oh, the bubble only just missing as well.
Yeah, you definitely would have seen a turn there from Lucian if that bubble had landed, because the spell shield was down, even with that shield on top of her. Because Lucian at the moment, his double tap does a lot of damage.
Oh, a nice exploding cast onto Be Myself as he has to force a flash. The Righteous Glory gets popped, and now Maokai is doing so much damage, but not enough, and it's just going to be a bit nothing in that top lane.
Yeah, there was a really nice trade there. He did a fantastic job using his ultimate to keep them pushed up against the wall, that way stopping the initial damage that they wanted to deal to him after he'd been caught out from the explosive cast.
And the explosive cast has been used so many times already. He's not holding on to that ult. It doesn't matter what for, whether to zone out Perfect or whether to get Be Myself on the opposite side of them. So very aggressive play of the Gragas so far compared to the Nunu, where he's just making really good appearances. And Nunu can be aggressive, but it's not like he has something like an explosive cast that can CC everyone to the opposite side of the map.
Yeah, exactly. Gragas brings so much more utility. Again, Nunu's job is to really make sure he has a lot of objective control and just stranglehold Gragas in the jungle. But he's not really doing that at the moment. And he's actually given away the blue buffs, whereas Gragas has been very greedy in keeping them. So he's actually going to scale quite far. Nunu does have that 68 CS lead on him, but you know, it's still showing that Gragas is doing more work, even though that Nunu is up, because he's actually been around the map more.
Yeah, Be Myself still up with Jim Hamberland, and he's taking a lot of damage once again, but it looks like that 1 kill advantage hasn't put Nah out of it forever. The Hex Drinker coming through with the Spectral Cow. He's got a lot of magic resist focus there, and I guess why shouldn't he? 3 members of Krispy Kreme Crew have huge AP scaling.
Yeah, definitely, and that's why they need to watch out for that. As there seems to be more trades coming through, Perfect doesn't have that much mana at the moment, so they could actually go through and make something happen. But same with Spo, he doesn't have much either.
Yeah, he does. He definitely doesn't, but the magic resist is going to work very well for that Nah, already having picked up his boots. And in retrospect, we see the Righteous Glory coming through from Jim Hamberdale, and I'm really going to struggle with that name in future occurrences, but a lot of damage against Resonance, but not too much going against a Kassadin. We do not see Kassadin... we don't see Azir trading off that well with the Kassadin at this point, Mendrix.
No, for some reason, Kassadin is up roughly 23 CS. Make that 25 now. And that's basically because he seems to be outplaying him in this situation. You have a lot of safe zoning potential and farming capabilities through Azir. He's been focusing on harassing Kassadin, but he's just sustained through it, and he's been farming safely. He's got his Rotative Ages, it's starting to stack, and you're going to see him to be a force to be reckoned with. It's coming up soon in the next 7 minutes.
Yeah, and you see the farm advantage already building, and the anticipation of that Kassadin to build his second item is going to be a big one, as we see Kassadin looks like he's got the Crystalline Flask to start off, which was great sustain, but second item perhaps, oh, the damage is huge, but second item I'm thinking maybe Rylos, or we might see something like maybe some flat AP of a huge Zhonya's.
Possibly. I'd say he'd probably like to go for either the Zhonya's now, guys, because he's got a lot more defense. Coming through, especially seeing as Lucian is actually doing fairly well at the moment, and he's got a lot of CS on top. On top of that, you could also go for flat penetration to really take advantage of the fact that you're stacking that AP.
When we look at the vision control coming through, Fatal Dream have got 3 lenses on the side of them compared to the 2 lenses on the side of Krispy Kreme Crew, as now Resonance has to use that Emperor's Divide, and we're going to see now if Kassadin can actually Rift Walk through that Emperor's Divide. Unfortunately, we couldn't, but Resonance, too much damage to challenge Sliker at this stage. I don't even think Nunu can push him off.
No, not really. He's got so much sustain, basically thanks to that shield of his and the fact that he's got the Crystalline Flask. Not only that, with the Catalyst procs as well, the Dragon is coming up.
And the teleport comes in as well, as we see. Now the Maokai's come through, gets CC'd by a nicely timed bubble, but Perfect is a targeting person right now. And Be Myself is trying to run away with the Nunu coming through, but he goes in, he decides now's the time to fight. And it looks like Sliker takes out Be Myself, sorry. Not Be Myself, Sliker's already taken out. It's a 1-for-1 trade. We're looking for more. A nicely timed bubble by Apple. Looking for Blind Turkey. The blue side pick up the Dragon. Fatal Dream, Final Dream, Fatal Dream. It doesn't matter what dream it is. All we know is that they've brought the dream forward, making a 3-for-1 trade. And that's definitely going to be the first Dragon and worth for them.
Maokai came in big there, and it didn't pay off. He had that Righteous Glory going straight away. They're locked in very hard onto perfection there, and it was very good by Squirrel to just go through and delete the characters straight away. But unfortunately, that Absolute Zero was perfect. It managed to deal enough damage to really chunk the rest of the team, and it looks like they managed to come out on top in the end, thanks to Fatal Dream.
And the huge scaling of that Absolute Zero comes through from that Nunu. He doesn't have any AP at the moment, whether it's a bit of flat runes or maybe we see some masteries coming through, but Absolute Zero has this huge tendency to do so much damage no matter what, what AP you have at the time being. So Nunu being a huge tank, that Absolute Zero is such a supportive maneuver for the rest of his team.
Yeah, it's still fairly early in the game, so you find that it's still doing a lot of damage. It all comes into how long he casts it. The longer the game goes off, though, Nunu has a tendency to fall off a bit.
Look at the damage coming through straight onto that turret. We see the first turret going towards Krispy Kreme crew and push that hard down the bottom very well. So we see a 1k gold lead going towards Fatal Dream, which was about 2k a couple minutes ago. Bit of pink clearing going on, so vision control very important at this moving to mid-stage sort of game.
Definitely in this regard, and you really want to see, as they go through some action into Jim Hemberdale between Bia and myself.
Yeah, we just see a bit of trading up, bit of snooty trading coming through as both junglers up the top lane. They're going to do the exact same thing as the ult comes through from Gragas. Was it worth it, though? Because now they don't have any CC to stop this Absolute Zero, and the damage just destroys both of them. Now the damage is getting erupted by B myself, who wants to look for Bill, but in retrospect, he's not too tanky at the moment. He's going to have to get out of there before the Janna can use a Howling Gale, finish it off. And in the mid lane, trading still going on, but in the top lane, a bit of whoop about nothing.
Pretty much. Those guys are too tanky to even take each other out as the tower in the bot lane falls. Basically, in that situation, that was a fantastic ultimate by the Mega Gnar and a fantastic ultimate coming through from the from Nunu to get that Absolute Zero off. But what happened was they went a little bit too hard. Gnar actually lost his Mega Gnar form as he got locked under tower, and then from that situation, they had to get away.
Yeah, and he's already built his Spirit Visage, so Gnar looking quite tanky to start off with the Hex Drinker. That Hex Drinker passive would have saved him in that fight. The only reason he remains 3 for 0 is because he had that Hex Drinker. So quite a nice pickup there, especially when you've got two AP carries coming through that are doing so much damage in this early game stage. And with the Kassadin that's destroying that mid lane, well, we're going to have to just keep an eye on. As we see now, once again, Jim Hemberdale taking a lot of damage, but all it is damage just to force him off once again. They can't kill this Maokai in the top lane. It's pointless.
Yeah, they're putting a lot of attention there when they really don't need to. They should probably go down to that bot lane, stop them from pushing in and taking more advantages there. I know Lucian seems to be doing well. He is 15 CS up, but you really want to put your power and put all your resources into the person in the team that's performing the best at that time. I mean, there's not much. I mean, Gnar's doing well. He's 3-0-1, and yes, they are putting that there, but it's not like they're going to kill the Maokai anytime soon.
Yeah, Jim Hemberdale's coping quite well under the pressure. Already having an equal amount of farm, which is pretty good from B myself. He wasn't able to catch up before. And this is what I love to see when the carries, when the top laners, they catch up on that farm difference. It doesn't mean too much for him at the moment. And he's going to be fine for the time being. The Gnar scaling really well.
Definitely. Resonance is in trouble.
Oh, he has to pop the barrier for this one. The Howling Gale comes through. The flash comes through from Psyker as well. The Ignite is not enough to tick over, and he's going to have to force the flash and take the Summoner spell off that.
Yeah, but then they've opened up the opportunity to actually go down there, as there's a little bit of slugging happening into the top lane. But this opens up the opportunity for a siege in the mid lane. You do have the ADC in support there, and with your mid laner down, there's no zoning.
There's definitely no zoning there, as we see B myself in the top lane getting harassed again by the jungler. Nunu, of course, is around, but he's just going to push him off and nothing more.
Pretty much. They did manage to get a lot of damage down onto B and myself. That is a really hard name to go through.
It is so hard. They're all hard names just because they're hard players.
Exactly. But basically going through, they picked him up when he was not in Mega Gnar, and they were able to do a lot of damage. A little bit of action going there, but no real trade happening. They're just going to go through and clean up the minions.
Yeah, Lucian doing a lot of damage at this stage with the Infinity Edge and the Zeal. Hasn't built the I believe he might go the Phantom Dancer. I feel like Static Shiv has come out of popularity a little bit now, but we see the Static Shiv, no surprise, but it most probably with the Phantom Dancer. And we look at other carries of the team. The Azir going for the Athene's Unholy Grail first, and it already has the Stinger, so maybe a Nashore's Tooth coming through. Well, I hope it's not a Zephyr.
No, it might be his FF4 winner. He might want to try and give himself some extra movement speed and some lockdown. He's copping a lot of damage as well there. But it will definitely most likely be a Nash's Tooth coming through. So that way he has more cooldown reduction. He has a lot more attack speed for not just himself, but also his soldiers.
But is he sacrificing a bit of damage to that Nash's Tooth? Is he losing anything from building that before possibly a...
No, I believe not, because with his he actually scales a bit really well with cooldown reduction, which is what he's getting now. So sure, he's going to have a little bit of early power lost in regards to not having building flight AP, but he's going to make up for it with the fact that he's got a lot more attack speed on his soldiers. As you can see, they're being quite menacing to the Kassadin that's been bullying him this whole game.
Well, not really, in fact. The fact is, Kassadin, has he taken any damage from those soldiers? Every time I see the trade-off, nothing happens. There's a bit of an ambush lies in wait here. Bill is so tanky at the moment that he can do anything he wants. The teleport comes through from Nah just in case something bad goes wrong. Nah is looking for an opportunity. I'm not sure he's on the same page with his team, though. They're moving back to middle lane. Do you really want to do this, Nah? Probably not. Probably. There you go there. As the sapling gets tossed over for a bit of vision control, everyone... Nah and the Nunu, which is pretty much everyone on the team of Fatal Destination. They're looking so tanky for the time being, as we see a bit of an engage happening here, and the Emperor's Divide zones off that side of the map. Jim Hammerdale's taking all the damage. Nunu doesn't have any mana to trade back and forth, and it's totally going in the way of Krispy Kreme crew as the Twisted Advance goes on Be Myself. He gets a kill out of it, though. Doesn't make the hop over the team. But, oh, the Lucian, he pops into action. Here we go, we're turning this one around. Perfect is doing so much damage. The Gragas barrel zones off, but a nice bubble from Nami might actually do enough. The flash and the body slam going over the hill there and far, far away. The flash comes through from the Azir with the attack speed. The Nami bubble gets spell shielded, and they want this so badly. Are they going to get it? I'm spitting, it's that hard. Come on, guys. There they go. Perfect gets K-Spoil. 5 of them still alive. What an extensive team fight there was. And now they're going for Dragon.
It really looked like in that situation that BR myself had actually overextended. He went back into the team fight when he had... his Mega Knight had just gone off. I think he was trying to get his ultimate for the last second, and he was like, oh crap, what am I going to do? There, but he was so tanky, he was actually able to get away. He did fantastic hiding. His Boomerang Blade slowing them down. They thought they had him down, and they kept on chasing in and through, and from that, the Lucian shot into action. The damage went through. Nam was able to pick up a double kill just from the kiting, and from there, that opened up the chance for them to keep on going through, chase on through, pick up the kills that they needed, and then they were able to open up a Dragon as well.
You and I can both take a breath. That was just... so much going on in that river, and for a Dragon, no doubt, which Be Myself really played his part. Perfect came into that back line, and I cannot comprehend how much of a turnaround that was. This is turning out to be an absolutely awesome final for this week. Fatal Dream want this so badly. They've got a 3k gold lead developing as Kassadin comes in through here looking for damage, which is doing so much to Apple. Nunu pushing off as well, and it's just going to be a trade-off for the time being. Looking for the mid lane pressure.
Pretty much in that regard. And now that they've got this gold league of 2.5k, they're going to still taking it through. Psych is still doing an amazing amount of damage as he jumps onto Resonance there. But yeah, it's amazing how that fight turned out. I am still surprised they managed to turn that around after it seemed Nah had overextended.
Yeah, I thought Nah was way out of his depth, but he turned that so well against him. The Blood Boil for Azir is actually doing quite a lot for the time being. The Stinger has yet to be evolved into that Nashor's Tooth. So we're going to have to wait for that one, wait for the extra damage to come through and the extra attack speed. Jim Hammerdale looks at the CC from the Twisted Advance and he finds it quite easily in the top lane.
Pretty much. And that tree, as long as he's got that tower there, he should be fine. I think, though, that tower's days are numbered. This should be when it finally falls.
Yeah, and the turret in the top lane, losing all its armor, all its integrity. It goes down for the third target for Fatal Dream, and it is really time for the Fatal Dream to come through. So we'll see how they start to scale when we move into this mid-game stage that's happening now.
Yeah, definitely. With these teams, they both seem to have plays that scale really well. Civ Evolution are actually fairly even. Nami and Janna, same deal. They both have fantastic engage and disengage on both sides of them.
Yeah,
Gragas Nunu, again, the same situation. Yeah. Although I feel Gragas has more utility versus the Nunu, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Nah scales a little bit harder than Maokai, but Maokai, as always, remains relevant.
Yeah, the hype is just building up here in the studio, and we see the Infinity Edge and the Phantom Dancer, just like I said, getting finished for that. And Psyker's being a bit too cheeky. Is it too much, Psyker? I think it is, because Be Myself is just doing so much damage. Look at him. Is he the AD carry or what? What is going on, Be Myself? He's been so cheeky at this stage, and he picks up a kill. 6 for 0 Nah with a Spirit Visage, the Hex Drinker, and it looks like now he might be able to upgrade to that Frozen Heart.
From there, yeah, he definitely can. He might even pick up a Randuin's Omen from that as well. With that, he has a lot more chances when he actually jumps in top of them, hits them with his ulti, and slow them down, but they're going for the Baron.
The Baron is getting taken now at a great attempt to put themselves in a very firm advantage. Vision control taken out by Be Myself. The Howling Gale comes through at an attempt to steal it, but the double smite from Nunu. Very well played, really showing he has objective control.
Yeah, and then finally we can see Nunu having that power, using his smite and using his consume to really hold down those neutral objectives. There was nothing that Krispy Kreme crew could do in that situation. They had just lost their mid lane, and from there they had so much damage, it fell down really quickly, but it looks like Nunu's in trouble.
Oh, Nunu's going to have to flash out of this one. He doesn't have it though, not just yet. It's only just come up, not in time, and Bill picks up the kill for that one. Something I want to point out for Bill, Mendrix, he's got a bit of attack speed. Is there a reason? I think there's some flat attack speed runes coming in there. Quite a lot, actually, if you look at his attack speed.
I believe you do get that early because then it gives you more damage just to get you sustained in the jungle. So really, it means that there's more hits coming through that deals more damage to the minions you're versing. That's why you would pick up the attack speed.
Well, he's gone and done it, and the Gragas is still looking pretty strong at 2 for none. The teleport comes in. It looks like a bit of positional advantage coming through from the Maokai, who sees the Nami. The Twisted Advance comes through with the Tidal Wave going through. Blind Turkey has no health left to spare, and Perfect has decided now's a good time to get out as Nami just gets picked off, and that's a good trade for Krispy Kreme crew.
Definitely. With that, they can pick that up. They managed to take Baron off one of the people at least. And in that regard, that means they're able to slow down. That was a really close recall. Bill playing with fire.
So close. This Resonance comes in. And remember how much damage Be Myself is doing. Case Ball is not going to get out of this one alive with the flash coming through a little bit late from Be Myself. Azir has 3 soldiers up, and that's enough. That's all he needs. And they're going to take down this turret now quite easily without too much resistance. Krispy Kreme crew have got their work cut out for them.
This is a real problem that they actually took Spoil out now. They don't have any wave clear. Not that it would do much with these super empowered minions, and now they're just going to barrel down through and take an easy inhibitor turret and inhibitor.
Yeah, and we see Bill getting CC'd there. He's walked a bit too far forward. The Absolute Zero gets popped. A nice exploding cast, but Jim Hammerdale's on the back line on Perfect. He zones himself out of that one. Jim Hammerdale not doing enough CC or damage to do anything. And the Nah, so versatile at this stage, but has he gone too far? Is he too far into that backline? They might have to leave him out of this one. He nearly gets the Gragas, and it looks like Fatal Dreams team is just falling apart. 4 members left to go. Psyker really wants this kill. He misses the slow there of the E, but it looks like Lucian still has the Baron buff for the time being.
Nah coming out big there, but then just going a little bit too far. But it still looks like they'll be able to pick up the Dragon as well off the back of this, even though they have less members in the field.
Yeah, and Perfect, look how much damage he's doing. 447, 447, so much critical damage coming through. He now might be going for that last Whisper to get a bit of magic, armor penetration damage coming through to Bill, who, when you look at Bill, you see he's got the Aegis of Legion when it's upgraded. The Locket of Iron Solari, that's the one, with the Righteous Glory, and of course the Cinderhulk, which is giving him so much health, and of course a bit of magic resist to go against that Azir, who's scaling quite nicely. He hasn't upgraded this Stinger yet. He went for an Abyssal Scepter.
Looks like he really just wanted the cooldown reduction and also have the attack speed bonus that give him a little bit of room. But Spoil pops her ulti.
Oh, On the Hunt has been popped. This Resonance might be too far out here as Sivir does so much damage. The Nami Tidal Wave nearly takes it out. Sivir only just surviving that one.
Yeah, it was definitely well done by Nami to try and keep Resonance alive, but there's just a little bit too much damage. They almost picked up the Sivir for that, but unfortunately she manages to get away, and really a trade that Krispy Kreme crew really needed in that regard.
And it looks like both AD carries are trying to build the same thing for the time being. Pickaxe being picked up on Sivir looks like it will be the last Whisper. Lucian has just that much more gold. due to the fact that he's got a lot more assists and he has had a couple of shutdown kills, I do believe. So he's got that extra gold, he's got the last whisper, and he's prioritized his items quite nicely.
Yeah, definitely regard, especially all the global gold they've been picking up throughout the map.
Yeah.
And now he's going to go and pick up a nice little feast in the top lane as well. So basically, he's going to keep going through and getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, and Psyker, look at the damage he's producing at the moment. With 10 stacks on his Rod of Ages, of course he's got the Zhonya's already fully built. He's got the Blasting Wand to build into possibly, we might see a Rabadon's maybe?
Possibly avoid stuff. You see, he basically, he already has a lot of stacks and AP coming through from his Rod of Ages. If he gets that Void Staff, he has enough. He has something that can actually eat through Gnar, which is really the problem at the moment. He doesn't have anything that can actually hurt Gnar. Gnar's just taking him to town because of it.
Yeah, Be Myself once again showing he's a great split pusher. This is what happened last game, remember? Gnar was zoning out that crucial top lane carry, teleporting in at great moments, and just proving how much of a reliable top laner he really is. Nunu taking a bit of a cheeky hit there. As we said, the top lane turret taking a lot of aggro. Bill, very tanky, but Nunu is as well, so he's going to have to be careful. And trading off going, both teams want these turrets to be either dead or alive, you know?
Yeah, it's just a double siege going on now. They just need to wait until the minions in the mid lane push up, and from that they'll be able to either basically focus on through one of them, depending who they need to break off. And it will be one of the top laners as well, because you can't really leave it undefended in the bot lane. No, and there goes Psyker.
Oh yeah, Psyker's just about to say that with the we got an inhibitor down in the mid lane. Yes, we do. We do have an inhibitor down in the mid lane. Just double checking that it's still down. And that means Psyker's going to have to defend that. We've got 4 members up top for Fatal Dream, and now they're pushing on towards with the Absolute Zero, but maybe positioning wasn't perfect in this situation as Be Myself now goes on Himberlake down in the bottom there, and Viola Smith straight on that turret. There's another turret gone. Gnar's doing a lot of damage. Maokai's going to have to be careful as he's trying to get some turret pressure onto the Gnar, but is it enough? No, there's the last auto. There it is. There goes Hammerdale, not able to teleport into this team fight. You got 4 members up the top. You got 1 member down bottom, and you got a very, very annoyed co-caster who just got elbowed in the arm.
Well, it wasn't too hard, so it's all good. But coming through with that regard, that was very well done there by the Gnar. He was actually looking for an opportunity to teleport down there, and that's why he forced the tree to go all the way down to the bot lane for him to fight. From that situation, because of that, he had to fight him in Mega Gnar, because that's why he was at that point. That's why he was running back, so he could TP in as Mega Gnar. But his team didn't need him, and because of that, he was able to go through and solo the Maokai at the same time.
He's got a bit of attack speed on him just naturally. Building the Phage already, we're not going to see, or we could possibly see the Righteous Glory come through. Oh, sorry, the Black Cleaver.
He has picked up on a Kindle Gem, so that's possibly what he's going to go for next.
Yeah, well, we saw that with his first game, and of course, Be Myself, a very, very competent Gnar player, as we've seen in the past. A lot of pressure coming around this Dragon Pit. Not sure it can be contested unless there's a nice Rift Walk coming in. Red turret goes down in the bottom lane, but there's no steal coming through. Nunu double smite really makes a sure pick as the Gragas barrel zones off and slows down possible chasers. Aegis gets popped as well for the extra speed, and the Janna goes in, knowing that there's 5 members there, but will the Baron buff be enough to do enough damage in there? Hammerdale trying to get to that back line. Perfect. He pops the culling. He's so low on health, he has to Relentless Pursuit away. Bill is now looking for Nunu as 1 member is already down for Fatal Dream. And Psyker, oh, he's taking a lot of damage from this Resonance. Bill is still alive. Hammerdale's still alive. There's their huge tanky front line, but can they push through with a massive Baron buff?
All they managed to take down in that situation was the Nami, and when you've got a Baroned up team giving you minions that are buffed, you can't really take advantage of the fact of that. Also, Gnar was able to pick up another turret as well in the bot lane, and to be honest, he was looking to actually get into that team fight. Even though he wasn't there, he should have stayed in that bot lane and kept on pushing. He could have possibly taken a turret from that.
I want to point out that Nunu may be DDoSing with that flying snowball. As soon as Kassadin pressed B and really good timing, Nunu sent out a Yeti snowball. And Psyker kind of, went back to base and probably received that one a little bit later. So bit of a poke, but we might see a bit of an ambush come out here from Fatal Dream, but no good. Really good vision control coming from the saplings there, so they're not going to get that one.
No, definitely not. They're looking to pick up their 4th Dragon of the game. They do have the drop on Dragon. They do have the position on it. Will they be able to get through? They have started it up, but Bill, he's looking menacing.
He's looking very menacing. Nunu doesn't have enough mana though, so a big zoning cast coming from the Gragas, and K-Spoil doing so much damage to the Nami. She's taken out before we can blink our eyes, and Be Myself is now being chased. But it's really just a zone off of this dragon, which now Krispy Kreme crew have full control of. This is going to be their second dragon, giving them that extra damage to minions and monsters.
And they definitely need it also in that regard. Coming through, Nami just keeps on getting picked out in these situations. She's died 4 times now, and the pause has come through.
Yeah, unfortunately, we got a bit of a game pause there. Just a bit of technical issues coming through from the players. So we'll come back to that one, but the Na is 8 for 1 for the time being. Such a huge score coming through, and I love when you see these Nas who just, they run over the team comps. They go Mega Na, they zone out all 5 members, and then they just tread on those crucial backlines.
Yeah, he's definitely coming out big, and because of his build, he's pretty much unstoppable.
Yeah.
On top of that, he's going to have a lot of damage once he finishes that Black Cleaver. There's not much Maokai can really do in that situation. He can't trade. If he tries to stop him again from doing any TPs when he gets into the team fights again, he can't. He's just going to turn and kill him. That's really the situation he's in now.
Having said that, though, Maokai is playing a really good role in these team fights as the front line. Gragas and Maokai both so heavy at the moment. And with the Maokai looking, I think he's got so much health. He's about 3.5k health with a lot of resistance in there. Lucian can't get past that. The Twisted Advance zones off so easily. And, of course, that Q with the Arcane Roots or maybe something like that, you know, trying to get the skill names going a bit. But so much zoning potential. If Lucian cannot Relentless Pursuit out of that, then he doesn't have much of a chance.
Yeah, Spoiler is still coming out pretty big. He's got a lot of damage. If Lucian does get locked down by the tree with that Twisted Advance, follow through with the Arcane Smash, then we follow through with a Boomerang Blade and a Ricochet and just the auto attack damage that she has at the moment, she can easily kill him. I've seen Sivers, once they're 5 items, completely mince teams just because they outpositioned a little bit to her, and she was able to get through with those ricochets and those boomerang blades.
Yeah, and of course, there's so many different components as we move back into the game after a bit of a short pause, but there's so many components coming through from Krispy Kreme crew that could work well for them. And there goes the culling straight into Bill, and I actually overestimated Bill's resistance at the moment as Perfect zones him off quite nicely. Bill took a lot of damage there.
Yeah, it's because he has that Last Whisper now. On top of that, he's got extra damage coming through from the Baron buff. Because now, although it doesn't give you the same amount of regeneration, it still gives you the damage statistics. So he is really strong at the moment. If you miss position, he's going to chunk a lot of your HP out.
And the only thing that Bill has at the moment is the cloth armor. So no real heavy bits of armor coming through. Remember that the locket, I'm not sure it gives any armor.
It doesn't. It gives global, or not global, it gives it a number of magic resistance to everyone else. But on top of that, it gives you a shields, which I don't believe he popped in that situation, but still it helps a lot in the team fight situation because it gives it to everyone on the team. Yeah,
it definitely does. And it is picking up yet another blue, which has been shed very nicely by Fatal Dream. And you gotta imagine that this Nunu, he keeps running out of mana in these fights. Now, whether it's because Azir keeps taking his blue or he just cannot time his absolute zero perfectly, I don't know. But maybe he should be, just deciding when to actually use his mana stock, I guess.
The problem with Nunu is that he actually gets free attacks based off when he actually is using auto attacks. When all these team fights are breaking out in the late game, he's not running around the jungle hitting things and getting free mana back from it by using free attacks. So unfortunately for him, he's not able to actually get to that point where he will have a free attack coming through.
Yeah.
And that's why he's running out of mana so quickly. Again, also he's giving his blues away through to Azir, but Azir needs them as well. He's very mana hungry. So even though he's got that chalice, when a team fight breaks out, he actually needs it. And as we can see, the Void Staff has been finished as well as with an Abyssal Scepter. So Azir will actually hurt quite a fair bit if he manages to get his soldiers onto you.
And moving into this late game, how are we going to see Azir scale? Because we're just about at the 40-minute period, which is very good for at this stage of the game that both teams have great merits. But how does Azir scale into that late game stage?
Azir scales amazingly. He has an amazing amount of damage. He's got so much zone control as well. The longer this game goes on, it is going to be harder for Krispy Kreme to actually take a fight with Azir scaling harder like that. Sure, Cassidy scales amazingly as well, but the problem is he has to get in there and he has to put himself in danger to get that damage out. Resonance doesn't have to do that.
Look at the Maokai. Look for this backline as he claps his hands, and there's his ult. Be Myself so tanky at the moment with Mega Gnar. Psyker takes so much damage there, and the Gnar goes straight over and about. Hamberdale, you're exactly right there, Mendrix. He is so huge, and even the Azir is doing so much damage. It's a massacre towards Krispy Kreme crew. They are getting destroyed. We've got huge death timers going down. We're going to definitely see the inhibitor going down, possibly even some Nexus turrets to boot.
And as you can see there, Nunu's just being a little bit sneaky. He's tanking a bit of that damage as the minions come on through. There's really only a Janna and a Gragas trying to stop the onslaught, and they have too much damage. Well, this will probably be the final game. Moments coming through now.
This is definitely going to be the first win for Fatal Dream. And of course, that's their first win towards victory for this weekend. If they can win one more, they've got their spot. They're going to secure it onto the finals for today. And of course, give themselves a bit of extra points. Krispy Kreme crew played well, but not well enough in that late game stage. As soon as it hit 40 minutes, bang, they knew how to scale.
Pretty much. The real defining factor was that mid-game fight over the Dragon,
Yeah,
where they thought they had Gnar. And that was really the tipping scale. He managed to pick up a double kill there, and from there was not much Maokai could really do.
No.
And he was just becoming a menace from that. He ended 9-1-2. That Gnar was huge at the end of the game. He had more kills than Lucian.
And how many times have we seen him in the top lane? This is the second game that's come through from Fatal Dream that we've seen a really strong top Gnar. It's a comfort pick. It's a great comfort pick. That's all I can say about it. He's playing so well on the Gnar that you can't beat that unless you counter him early or shut him down and just disrespect his lane.
Exactly. And that's what you need to do. But he's so hard to do as well because he's just going to hop away. If he's got minions on his back, he's going to go even further. He's a very hard champion to gank. He's a very safe champion to also. Maybe the next thing they need to do in this situation, he's come out big twice for his team.
Yeah.
Fatal Dream now with that Gnar. So what they should probably do is just ban the Gnar. But the problem is that in that situation, what are they giving back to Fatal Dream? Will Resonance be able to get his Orianna for that? You don't know. These are the things that basically now like Krispy Kreme have to go through, and they're going to see what they can do for the next pick and ban phase, and hopefully they can bring out a win for themselves to equalize it.
Well, Krispy Kreme crew are going to have to win this one to make sure they stay in the game for today. Let's see if they can equal it up, or if Fatal Dream can take out the win, make it 2-0 for the first weekend of the Oceanic Open Ladder. Stay with us.